Braids and Crypto. I'm your host, Mr. Big Braids, coming to you live from a reservation somewhere, taking a look at ASM and a few other coins to get the night started. Well, let's get it started. Take a look at ASM. ASM actually made it over the 786 on the short-term time frame, actually starting to make some good recovery to the upside. Definitely at that point to where, if we do get rejected here, definitely going to have some pullback down to the 618, possibly the 786, depending on what BTC is doing. As you can tell with the setup on the short-term time frame, basically set up the way BTC is. So let's take a look at BTC here. BTC actually came back up over 41,474, which was actually some pretty decent recovery. If we do get rejected here, though, definitely looking like possibly could get some pullback. We definitely got to keep an eye on that scenario. We did have this creepy crawly action going on for quite some time, had some decent recovery, and at this point, I know a lot of people were like, "Well, what's going to happen next?" So that's that's exactly the point where we're at right now. So, definitely exciting to keep an eye on it, see what it's going to do through the weekend. It's actually one of those historically green green weeks if you keep track of that stuff. But usually this week of the year, we do get some moves to the upside, and we actually did this week. So it's definitely got to keep an eye on BTC. But as you can tell, the same setup there as ASM is basically at that point to where it's getting stuck at the previous resistance that the previous support that we did lose. So the shorts and the longs basically a little undecided as well. As we take a look at that as far as the longs. The longs are actually making some moves to the upside. The BTC shorts are actually around the same area. If we can get them to load here. Okay, as you can tell, yeah, the shorts are actually making some moves to the to the downside. But they're basically undecided at the moment. So we're at that point where we gotta take a look at BTC and see where it's going. Because at this point here, there's got to be at least some correction or a little grasp of some support. So if we can get some support up here and some consolidation, possibly could get some sideways action until BTC starts making its moves up to the upside. But if it does, if it is continuously bullish throughout the weekend, it's definitely exciting to see it. Right exactly where we're going, but definitely could just be seeing some sideways action and till the market gets figured out. So it's very exciting to see BTC back up over 40,000 though. And definitely a lot of people. But if we do get rejected here, that is going to be a lot of pullback down on that resistance, and definitely could possibly see some lower price action at that point if we do get rejected up here. So it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen right here, and more times than any, when we get back up to this point and get some good recovery, a lot of people get sucked in, and then then we get this up to this resistance here. We can't quite get through it, and then we get some pullback down to some lower price action. So as you can tell, we kind of had that same scenario set up on this time frame here. Had that scenario, and then we had a little bit of a move to the upside to where we got stuck here at the same scenario of where we're at right now on the previous that previous resistance. So could possibly be setting up for the same scenario here where we're hitting the top and then capitulation. Same scenario here setting up. We had that creepy crawly action to the upside, had a little bit of capitulation down, and then some decent recovery to the upside. So as you can tell, we did start putting in a higher, we got back over this little set of resistance here, got a bounce in. Looked like it was going to make some moves to the upside, and then capitulation. So right now, that's that is on the table right now. We're not out of the woods yet, so we definitely got to keep an eye on that. So if we do get rejected there, it's definitely awesome to see some green candles, but at the point at where we're at right now, we definitely we're definitely not out of the woods, and the slower price action is still on the table as far as the long-term pattern. The head and shoulders scenarios there, we can actually pull it up and look at it, and it's there. So that I'm still leery about this price action. So I've been looking at BTC quite a bit today, and just by the way it looks, it's still got that setup that we had here on just a bigger scale. And if we do get that, if we do get rejected here, we're definitely gonna, possibly see some lower price action. So we definitely got to keep an eye on that throughout the evening. But we definitely had some decent news on BTC about a lot of long-term buyers and accumulating. The short term is just basically went on pause, and as of today, we made some good moves to the upside. Very exciting day today as far as everybody that got into a lot of projects. There were some projects that were making some moves to the upside. As you can tell, Gala's got some good recovery. It's up 21%. So there's quite a few projects that are trying to make some moves. But if we do get rejected there, then we're definitely gonna have some pullback to the downside. But a lot of these metaverse coins are just basically been bullish all the way around. So we all knew they were going to make some moves to the upside, I'm pretty sure. But so hopefully a lot of people got some price action and some good sales on those. But back to the ASM. As far as the ASM was making some moves to the upside, and it's just been holding around 0.0582, possibly grabbing some support there above that 0.0568, and could possibly get some support. And if you look at the technicals on the ASM, it's actually starting to get into a strong buy zone area. When they start getting some good recovery, you start getting some decent buy zone area once you get over this resistance here, and we start making some moves up to the upside. So I'm definitely looking around for a strong buy signal that's going to come out on ASM. But does it happen? It remains to be seen at this point, because we could get that buy signal and BTC could collapse, and we'll definitely it'll just be back down to the 786 at 0.0537, possibly some lower price action. So that's why we definitely got to keep an eye on BTCs going into the weekend, and is definitely got to keep an eye on the news. So anything that's going to affect the market, definitely anything can happen at any given minute, and you get these capitulations down to the downside. But a lot of people see that as tragedy. I definitely see that as opportunity. So loving the lower price action as far as a lot of the projects. But as far as ASM making some moves to the upside, we can hold some support over this 0.0581, grab some support and consolidation, and start making our moves up to this 0.05977, grab some support and consolidation, make our way up to this 0.0623, and definitely start looking towards some breakout action. And then on the long term, we definitely got to get back over this. Let's see where we at here. Let me roll this up on the yearly chart. We definitely got to get back over this 0.0719. If we can get back up to 0.0719, definitely looking like it could possibly have some decent recovery. We definitely got to get some support at that 0.0719 and make our way back up to the make our way up to the 786 at 0.1036. Grab some support consolidation, and possibly start making some moves to the upside. So that would be the best scenario. As far as getting some good recovery, we definitely got to get back up to the 786 at 0.1036 and get some good support on the long term. But as far as the short term scale, we're possibly making some moves to the upside, and it's definitely good to see some green candles going in there. So I know a lot of people are keeping an eye on that. But if we do get rejected and start making our moves to the back down to the downside, we definitely got to keep an eye on that 786 at 0.0537. If we do come back down and we lose that point at 0.0537, we're definitely going to start looking at some lower price action. So keep an eye on that. I'm definitely lurking. I'm still lurking at that lower price action. We're still not out of the woods as far as BTC's going, and we definitely got to keep an eye on that as far as ASM. As far as MDT, moving on up to MDT, we're looking at a 0.0643, and you definitely still consolidating down. It's definitely trying to make it back over that 618. It actually holding at 0.0643. If it does hold above that 0.0628, could possibly see some sideways action. And it's exciting to see where a lot of these projects are going as far as MDT making some moves to the upside. So on the shorter time frame, it's definitely making some. Get that back. There we go. Definitely making some moves to the upside. So if we can get back over this, let's taking the next stop would be the 0.0665. Grab some support and consolidation and make our way up to this 0.0710. And if we can make it over this 0.0783, definitely be making some moves to the upside. But we definitely still got to get back over this as far as breakout action. We got to get back over this 0.1213, grab some support consolidation, start making some moves upside, up making some moves to the upside. So definitely keep an eye on that price action as far as MDT. And just like I said with the ASM, definitely keep an eye on that lower price action. But went off a little bit more on BTC as I could, and we're getting that 10-minute zone. So we're going to chop this block in half, and we'll actually add in request into the COV Jasmine video. So we'll do that next. But as far as MDT, we definitely got to keep an eye on that 618. If we do lose that support at 0.0628, definitely looking at some pullback down to the 0.0370. And if we do lose that support, definitely still lurking for this lower price action on MDT. And if we do get some good recovery, that would be definitely a good scenario. Definitely get that FU money going and some moves to the upside. So keep an eye on that as far as MDT, and you got to definitely keep an eye on BTC, because if we do get that dippy action, we're definitely going to come back and check that 618, and then if we lose that support, we're definitely be coming down to test that support at the 786 at 0.0370. So definitely keep an eye on those scenarios. And BTC, the way it's setting up, I'm still really leery about it. And so like I said before, it's still got some dippy tendencies going on. We're not out of the woods yet, so but definitely good to see it making some moves to the upside, and possibly could just get some sideways action. So just definitely going to keep an eye on that, and we'll do a follow-up video tomorrow and see where we're at. So so everybody know the coins we talked about this evening. Good luck, and you always got to remember, this is not financial advice. These are my views and opinions on the market only, and you always got to do what's right for you. So you always have a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. Mr. Big Braids is signing out.